Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the inaugural Future World of Work Summit. My name is Catherine Atkinson, and I'm the Director of Workforce at the Greater Des Moines Partnership. We believe in making our region a best-in-class place to build a business, a career, and a future. Retention of current and local talent and attraction of new talent remain key priorities for the Greater Des Moines Partnership. This includes ensuring that we have a solid foundation of workforce talent today, while also strengthening and upskilling it for a more powerful tomorrow. Today's summit includes a variety of perspectives from local and national leaders and provides an opportunity to listen to experts highlight ways we can adapt and thrive in the work and learning ecosystems of tomorrow. This collection of leaders would not be possible without our sponsors. Thank you to Iowa Workforce Development, Jacobson Institute at Grandview University, Mercy One, and Des Moines Area Community College for your sponsorship of today's event. The steering committee of this event was made up of volunteers from each of these organizations. I would like to recognize them now. Beth Townsend, Lynn Burks, Rob Denson, and Jackie Lusch. Thank you. We are thankful for the efforts of everyone who made this event happen and look forward to learning together. Our individual contributions and leadership within our organizations lead to powerful change that creates momentum for a vibrant Greater Des Moines community and region. To share more about that regional view, I welcome Jay Byers, President and CEO of the Greater Des Moines Partnership. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Catherine. Really appreciate your leadership. Thanks for all of you who made it a priority to be here today. Thank you to our speakers. Thank you to our sponsors, as Catherine just recognized, and a big thank you to the entire Greater Des Moines Partnership team who has helped put this together too. So we really appreciate everybody making an effort to be here today. This is a very important topic, and I would say the most important topic that our region needs to be focusing on right now. And a little bit more about the Greater Des Moines Partnership, and I know most of you probably know some of this, but we are the regional economic and community development organization serving central Iowa. We help lead economic development now in 11 counties. We have 24 affiliate chambers of commerce and about 6,500 regional members. The number one issue that we hear about and have been hearing about by far has been talent. Right? Can we find enough talent? Does the talent have the skills needed that we're looking for right now? So whether that's big companies or medium-sized companies, small companies, public sector, nonprofit sector, it's all about talent. And really, in many ways, a short-term talent issue, but also a long-term talent issue. So I'm going to go back a little bit in history in terms of, why are we here today talking about the future world of work? Because there's a progression in terms of sort of how we got here today, right? So going back to 2018, there was a gentleman who Capital Crossroads, which is our regional vision plan, brought to town, whose name was James Chung. Who is a data scientist from the East Coast. Were any of you at the event that James Chung spoke at? Okay, we got a few, okay? So the story behind James is originally from Wichita and had been doing some work with the Wichita Chamber and Economic Development Group and some other places. And he would call us every so often. He says, I can't figure out why Des Moines and Greater Des Moines is such this outlier and outperforming other metros in terms of things like population growth, GDP growth, job growth, all those things that if you've heard me speak before, I like to talk about, right? And just all these investments and just as this outlier and he was just sort of dumbfounded by how we were doing so well compared to other Midwestern cities. So we thought, well, why don't we bring James to town and just have him talk about sort of his analysis and all those numbers that he's looking at. And he did that. And if you did not see that presentation, it's still out on YouTube. So all you have to do is just Google James Chung, Des Moines, and you'll see that piece. But he also, in addition to sort of talking about why we're so successful, he also outlined what he saw as potential challenges and opportunities for our region. And one of those big ones was the future world of work. And he called out the location quotient, which basically meant that we as a region are very heavy in terms of financial services and insurance workers. That's something that we are very familiar with, and a large number of knowledge workers. We actually have the highest percentage of insurance workers in terms of percentage of workforce in the entire country. And basically, what James was sharing was, he said, knowledge workers are going to be feeling the same disruption that manufacturing has felt, right, in terms of machine learning, AI, automation, robotics, and what are we going to do as a region to really prepare for that, right? So we've seen a major evolution of manufacturing 4.0 with the Iowa Economic Development Authority recent report. We're actually incentivizing machine learning and automation now at the state level in terms of manufacturing. But what are we going to do in terms of preparing our region for that disruption and changes that are happening to that workforce and knowledge workers with InsurTech and FinTech? And what's that workforce of the future look like? How are we going to prepare for that future? So fast forward to 2019, we, the Greater Des Moines Partnership and some other partners, worked with an organization called Quester and some other partners and did some research and studying of this issue and came up with some recommendations back in 2019 in terms of how do we sort of highlight that AI and automation story, and especially what's that mean for knowledge workers. How can we challenge employees of our current that are currently in the workforce to really embrace that lifelong learning and really to upskill and to prepare for those jobs of the future? How do we challenge employers, same thing, to upskill their current workforce to prepare for those jobs of the future with all that innovation and technology changes? And then also, what can we do to work closer with our K through 12 institutions, our higher education partners, as they're looking at curriculum and what they're delivering in terms of not only degrees, but certificates and all the other sort of workforce preparation that we need to do to really prepare for that workforce of the future. So are we gonna just be satisfied with being this really great regional metro with all the great successes? Or are we really gonna prepare for the future? Fast forward again, 2020, COVID, right? And then you look at, of course, the essential workers kept working, knowledge workers, right? I think that a lot of us in this room were really surprised at how quickly that we can make those pivots and work from home, maybe more so, and be more effective than we would have otherwise thought, and really kept the economy chugging along. And so in terms of, flexible workplace, work from home, and what all that sort of means. Fast forward again. We looking at all those sort of trends and hybrid work, we partnered then with Baton Global and Rework, and we partnered on what's called the DSM Workforce Trends and Occupancy Study, and I know a number of you in this room played a big part in that. The study included nearly 5,200 participants from 18 different organizations to identify trends specific to the DSM region and downtown DSM, and it was really a first of its kind look at this community level study of knowledge workers in terms of what can be done or what does this look like in terms of the future of hybrid work? What can employers do that can make employees want to come back in a meaningful way, as opposed to just coming back and go to meetings, but in terms of the opportunities for mentoring and collaboration and fun and fear of missing out, all those sort of things, and really looking at those sort of things as we're moving forward. So we use the results of this survey with our partners at Baton Global and Rework to develop a playbook, which was released today. And so that is available on our website at dsmpartnership.com. That looks at different topics, including the future of hybrid work, the importance of deep work, tips on how to conduct effective meetings, and on and on. So great job to our partners in putting together this best-in-class piece of work. And hopefully those of you employers out there can use that as a resource, and please share that with anyone else who may be interested. So that brings us really to our conversation today, right? All these issues are still incredibly important. We know that the future is here. We know there's plenty of challenges and disruption. That being said, disruption to me means big opportunities. And what are we going to do as a region to better prepare than others? And as we continue to look at the future of work, what is the future of work, and what does that mean for us? What does that mean for us, our ability as a region to continue to attract and retain high-paying jobs, and continue to excel as we have for the last actually 20 years in terms of leading the Midwest and in terms of major metros and outperforming places like Kansas City and St. Louis and Minneapolis and Milwaukee and Omaha, Chicago in terms of percentage of population growth, percentage of job growth, percentage of GDP growth. How do we continue to get these top 10 rankings, right? It just doesn't happen by itself, right? And so the future is here. COVID has accelerated that, and really that future is up to us. And that's why we're here today, is to really look at these issues in a deep and exciting way. And I know that this region has always stepped up to the challenge in the past, and that's what we're going to do moving forward. So I'm very much looking forward to, again, so just a top-tier group of speakers and presenters today. And when we finish today, that is not the end. That's the beginning. That's when it's roll up the sleeves time, and where do we go from here? So that's why we're here today, and look forward to the conversation. So again, thank you to everybody who made time to be here. Thank you to our speakers. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to the partnership team.